In our last episode, we explored the amazing archaeological ruins of Angkor Wat. This time around, we head out of Siem Reap and take a tour of a floating village off of the Great Tonle Sap Lake. From there, it's just a short flight to Phnom Penh for some history and sightseeing. And finally, in an attempt to beat Cambodia's insane heat and humidity, we head to Cambodia's southern beach town of Kep. But before any real adventures can happen, you've got to stop and pick up some snacks. All throughout Cambodia, roadside stands sell the Khmer specialty of kralan. Inside these lengths of bamboo that are cooked over an open fire is a mix of sticky rice, coconut milk, and black beans.
Yeah, we can take the whole thing. How is it?
It's good.
Yeah, it's really good.
They're pretty tasty, you can find them everywhere, and they're a bargain at only about 50 cents. And once we were fueled up, we were off to the Tonle Sap Lake and the Kampong Kleang floating village for what would shape up to be a really interesting day. Today we're heading out on the lake to see floating villages. I'm pretty excited about this. And of course, we can't forget our tour guide. And just like that, we were off. The Tonle Sap Lake is the largest freshwater lake in all of Southeast Asia, and is considered to be one of the world's most varied and productive ecosystems. And because of that, it's not only been a major source of food for the people of Cambodia, it's also been a way of life and a home for these villages for centuries. The village of Kampong Kleang is a mix of homes that are both floating and built on stilts. During the monsoon season, the Great Tonle Sap Lake rises and swells and brings the water level to within inches of the floors of the stilt homes. But during the dry season, those homes are left high and dry, standing 30 feet above dry ground. And the floating homes, they move with the seasons, following the changing water level of the lake. The Kampong Kleang village is home to roughly 8,000 full-time residents, whose main source of income comes from fishing on the Great Tonle Sap Lake. And with that many residents, basic necessities are met with some pretty creative solutions. Everything from floating chicken coops and pig pens to mechanics, grocery stores, and even schools. For me, as an outsider looking in, I was pretty amazed at how normal this different way of life seemed. With everything from social gatherings to traffic to people just going about their daily routine. Our short visit to this place reinforced my long-standing belief that people the world over, no matter where you're from or what your background, are fundamentally the same. Kampong Kleang is truly a vibrant and beautiful place, and it's worth a visit if you find yourself in Cambodia. And for us, we felt pretty fortunate to be able to have a few hours to float through its city streets.
Thank you. Any other?
That was awesome. Pretty amazing. After nearly a week based out of Siem Reap, it was time. We're out of here. Phnom Penh, here we come. We had to get up at 4:15 today. From Siem Reap, it's a short, quick and easy flight to Phnom Penh, where we were hoping to take in some sights and learn about some history. Okay, made it to Phnom Penh. I'm gonna check this place out today. I don't know how long it's gonna last because it is brutally hot. All of us are tired of sweating. This may be a pool day. We'll see what happens. At this point, we just gotta figure out where we're going. They're in charge. Phnom Penh, once known as the Pearl of Asia, is Cambodia's capital city and its largest, with over 1.5 million people. And with all of those people, of course there's gonna be big old bustling markets. Originally founded in 1434, Phnom Penh's got some history and plenty to see. Everything from French colonial architecture to landmarks and memorials to city streets, great for wandering aimlessly. But our favorite part of the city, those were the boardwalks along the banks of the mighty Mekong River. Along with floating restaurants and nightly river cruises, the Mekong is a busy working waterway, which provides not only a livelihood, but fresh fish for the multitude of restaurants throughout the city. And if you find yourself in Phnom Penh and can no longer take the brutal heat, that's when you find yourself a tuk-tuk, enjoy the breeze, and take in the sights on the move. Well, I've been in Phnom Penh for a few days now, seen a bunch of sights, been to a bunch of museums, and I'm going to talk about those another time. To fully understand Cambodia, you got to know the history, and it's pretty depressing. I think I'm going to talk about it in the next episode. But for now, there's something you need to know about traveling in Southeast Asia, and that is it's brutally hot. I'm going to do my best to explain it to you. You can trust me, this is science. As you can plainly see, this is me. Pretty good looking fella. I tower at about 5'10" tall, which is my heat threshold. That's the max I can take. Because I was born and raised in Seattle, which everybody knows is a gray, rainy, mild climate. This right here is my heat baseline. The thing I think most people don't realize is that the longer you stay in a place like this where it's brutally hot and humid, the more of that builds up in your system. And pretty soon it builds up at an exponential rate. You cross your threshold and you can take no more. And that's where we're at right now. Once that happens, you basically just start to melt. So tomorrow we're getting out of here and we're going to the coast, hike up into the mountains. Hopefully it should be cooler. See ya, Phnom Penh. And with that, the next morning, we were off to the little beachside town of Kep to hopefully beat the heat. But to get there, that would involve fighting our way through Phnom Penh's chaotic city traffic. After a pretty interesting and hair-raising handful of hours, we made it to Cambodia's southern shore and beach town of Kep. Kep was formerly known as a French colonial resort town, but now it's mostly known for its laid-back atmosphere and its world-famous crab market. And the thing to do here? Well, that's easy. You grab yourself a hammock and a spot of shade and watch the locals do their thing. And when a bit of weather comes in, that's when you find yourself a nice little spot to hide out and try some of the local delicacies. Here, it's its world-famous fresh blue crab. And this little hole in the wall, it would turn out to be one of the best meals we had in all of Southeast Asia. And for me, I'd have some fresh crab in the shape of a big old burger.
Jason's watching with envy.
This thing looks good! Holy crab is right. Oh man.
Really?
That's really good.
You might have to come back here.
Holy crab! That's amazing. But even better was Brenda's crab amok.
Peppercorns, grown locally. Oh man, that looks good.
With a mix of crab, coconut milk, and curries, all baked in a fresh coconut. It can't be beat.
That looks super good.
How is it? Amazing.
It's a brilliant idea.
That is delicious. Holy cow. We've been missing so much.
Just outside the town of Kep is the Kep National Park, which is loaded with hiking trails. And for us, thanks to the heat, turned out to be pretty short-lived.
Who's sweaty?
Not me.
The boys ditched us because the trail was too hard. Can you believe that? They were done sweating. Isn't that what happened?
That was what happened, and I think the bugs were upsetting their delicate skin.
I know, it was really traumatic. Here we are. The girls are pulling strong, and the boys left.
But with bugs like this crawling around, who can really blame the boys for leaving? After nearly 3.5 months of roaming around Southeast Asia together, our good friends Jason and Jen the next morning would be heading back to the States and then on to their boat in El Salvador. And because we were parting ways the next morning, one final hurrah over a pretty amazing sunset was in order. And after 3.5 months of roaming together, we still couldn't ask for better travel companions. But that's about it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and join us next time as we make one more stop in Cambodia.